How far can I take Luton Town on Football Manager Season 10? We are in the Champions League after we lost the FA Cup final last year, lost the Europa League semi-final, we got to the Champions League despite coming fifth thanks to the coefficient. So, as you will have seen in the last clips, I made a lot of money from players I sold because of my sort of like my business plan. I'm selling these young players, sending them out, playing them, selling them. In terms of the players that went out in Season 10, an English centre-back who I signed from Sunderland, been really good for me. He had the right offer, 36 million. He went to Aston Villa. Vasin, who is a winger I signed from Inter Milan. He hasn't been amazing, to be honest. I sold him for 63, which is a profit. I sold one of my youngsters who just isn't going to make it. This is the problem. When you sign somebody, one of the kids, you loan them out a couple of times, so those loans don't quite work. They're just sat and scored. You're like, right. A bit like what Man City and all those top teams do now. They get these academy players and just put them out. I'm doing kind of similar with players I signed from Brazil. So he went. I just want them to reach a potential in their careers as well. One of the players was quite sad to see leave. Was my first sort of players. He was only like 2.5 stars, 3 star now. He was the one who could play all these positions, and he was one of the first new gens who really broke through the team. I sold him to Chelsea for 40 million. He had been quite average for a couple of seasons, to be honest. So I still had quite a few outgoings. I sold this keeper because I signed for Argentina, but because he hadn't played the games and wasn't playing for the international team, his work permit was going to run out, so I sold him back. I sold this bloke back as well. Now, in terms of players I brought in, because as I said, I had a lot of money. I brought in this bloke as, again, he would be my number 2 keeper, just like for likes from Brazil, as you'd expect. 62 million on a 4th choice centre back. That's what I did, just because he's one of the kids. That's the stage I'm at now. He's playing in England international team already, as well as the other centre back I've got. So just nice to still get players playing for the future. Let's hope I can play them enough. Again, 3rd choice right back I'm spending 35 million on because he had so much potential whilst trying to loan him out. But I find players don't go out on loan for the first season, so they're kind of wasting their time a little bit. And then this guy, my scout, has been telling me to get for about 3 seasons. And because I've got so many strikers, I just put myself off. And he wants scoring loads of goals for Boca Juniors. But I signed him for 10 million just as an option because why not? My money then they go to this player. I've had 87 million on an left back. Tough at the top, isn't it? But I've had him scouted for like 2 or 3 years and he's been growing great for PSV. So yeah, I've got a super back 4 now. And then I signed this bloke for 1.5 million from Colombia, loan him out, see where he goes. Signed this guy 475k, same deal, loaned him back to his team. And that's kind of what I'm going for now. Oh yeah, I then spent 72 million on a DM. Well, DMs who can play deep line playmaker, kind of, because Alan Wharton, you know, he's still going to be there, but I need another player like him. German, he's played quite a bit as well now. He's played a few seasons in Gladbach. So, yeah, and then I got this guy on a free. He could have potential, but free transfer, you know, loan him out for 2 or 3 years, see where he goes. And then I just needed a number 3 keeper because I learned my mistakes from before. So I just got a Welsh, homegrown sort of youngster. And yeah, I was confident because I don't see a big difference between Europa League and Champions League in like the game schedule. Of course, you're still playing the same games. And the squad was big enough for Europa League, so the squad's big enough for Champions League. When you're constantly trying to put your best 11 for every game and just changing the players who are knackered, just kind of works a bit better for me. But this is a squad. I mean, this squad is nuts. I mean, my keeper is just world class now. I mean, that's why I signed for 90 million. He's comfortably England's #1 goalkeeper. My right back, my Welsh right back, he only wants to sign a 2 or 3 year deal every time. He's quite injury prone, gets loads of little injuries, but he's just top class when he plays. Dyson, he's the one I signed from Newcastle. Again, England's #1 centre back, like next John Terry. This Turkish absolute mentalist next to him, this powerful centre back, as they call him. He's just been so good for a few years. This is my new left back. He's going to slot in nicely. And then DM Adam Wharton, he's not the most like ability player on my team, but he's been so solid. I signed him in 2024 in January, and he's just been so solid. One absolute club legend he's been for me. This is my new COB sort of centre midfielder. This looks amazing. This bloke, as I say, always look at Serbia on FMs. What a player. He's been for a few years. This is one of the first 2 gens I signed as well. It's just been absolute top class ever since. Had to give him a lot of new deals to keep him happy here. Left winger, who I signed to replace the one I signed for 180 million to Man United. Class. And then the striker, he's unbelievable. He's just crazy. Look at him. Oh, wow. And then, yeah, still got some great Hato. I spent 70 million. The other striker I've just signed, he's looking like he's going to be great. Left winger, my left back for the last 2 seasons. New right winger, he didn't quite get in. I signed him last bit. Presland, he's still popping up a lot of goals and getting him there eventually. Is he ever going to be consistent enough? Manu, like the backup right back I signed last year. Look at this guy as well. This is what I love about FM, when you just get these players, you're plucking them from like the football leagues. League One, 5.5 million I signed him, loan back, and then he was just in the team playing. You know, he ain't got the most amazing stats in some places, but he's just great in midfield. And again, another Philip, singing Philip. He's you know, he was absolutely class last season. So go from there. Let's see how we go. Champions League. Let's have it. I was quietly confident before the season we could be top 4 again. Bear in mind how kind of close the league was last season. Well, I was right. We beat Norwich 3-1 at the start. Great win at Newcastle. I do play the 4-3-3 when I go to these sort of bigger teams away. 4-0 win against Bournemouth. 3-0 win at Brighton. Went out of the League Cup. Fuming. Or is it just not the worst thing in the world? For me, the League Cup, I want to win it, but I will probably play a weakened team the first few rounds. If I get to like the quarterfinal last 16, I'll take it a bit more seriously. I'll still play the strong team, so I have got a strong team, like second team, but still. Battered Wolves 6-1. Drew 2-2 at Frankfurt, my first Champions League game. Won 3-0 at Southampton, and then I won 5-1 in my first home Champions League game, which meant we've won 6 out of 6 games, and we are top of the Premier League. We carried on. We beat Tottenham 4-1. We beat Villa 5-2. I mean, look at these players. Danneman, this is unbelievable. Amazing. Disappointing 2-1 defeat at PSV though. Champions League's not been a massive success so far. Beat Leicester 3-1. We still won every Premier League game. That ended with a 0-0 draw at Leeds, who are good in this save. They are a good team. 1-0 win at Inter Milan to keep our Champions League dreams going. And then a 1-0 win at Brentford, which meant that the table's just ridiculous. We're not even top because it's Man City and they've got Haaland. Oh, we have got a game in hand, of course. But already, look at the points difference between us and the top 4. I mean, it could all go wrong. I've played FM for enough times to know. Already, we're looking odds on for top 4. Could even win a title. There's no pressure on us. I mean, teams like Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United are struggling. Leeds are struggling actually this year after they came second or third last year. 1-0 at Brentford, a 3-0 win against West Ham. I mean, these players are unbelievable. They're all playing amazingly. 3-0 against Rennes. I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to start now. And then we won 1-0 at the Emirates. It's just crazy. It is just crazy. I knew I was going to have a good season, but I didn't think it'd be this good. How long will it last? Well, we drew 3-3 against Liverpool. 92nd minute goal. Keeps our unbeaten season going. And then a 2-2 draw at Man City, our title rivals, meant for 15 games, we were top with a game in hand. Liverpool closing the gap a little bit to the top 4. This might be our only chance to win the title, so I'm going all out for it. I also know how injuries and that can affect seasons. But let's just keep going. Trying to balance the squad was a bit of an issue though. Basically, we sold one of the DMs. He kind of flopped, and I just want him gone. 29 million to Newcastle. But frustrating, we've got so many good players. This is that other striker I signed. He's got 5 and 7. This is what I mean. Danneman has been great. He's got 6 and 13. What I've actually been doing, don't show you here, but there's an option I started to do where I basically started to put Danneman, even though he's one of my best strikers, he can play on the wing. And I've been playing this sort of formation. So my 3 forwards are just kind of like my best strikers at the same time. I know you can say I'm wasting them on the wing, but they're scoring goals on the wing and they've got quite good crossing stuff. So the team's just ridiculous. The finances though, because I spent my money, they aren't getting rid of those costs yet. This is the only worry. So, and that wage bill is creeping up. As soon as it gets past 4 million, you need to get it down. Won in the Champions League at Ludogorets, then we drew 2-2 at Everton, slightly disappointing before 1-0 defeat at Man United. That's our first Premier League defeat of the season, and we're in December. 3-0 win, hat-trick for one of the other strikers I brought in the summer, and a 4-0 win against Burnley put us right back to where we needed to be. Drew at Chelsea, we'll take that. Smash Newcastle 4-0. Just look at this team. Quincy Domingue, just when one striker goes out of form, I've got 2 others that are great, and I play one on the wing. 1-3-1 in the FA Cup at Chelsea. I mean, that just shows the strength of my team, really, doesn't it, in the squad. And then January was just ridiculous. I only sold 1 player and brought 1 in. Like, my club is dying financially because unlike when you do a Man United one, you're not getting 200 million sponsorship fee. We're getting like 10 million. Beat Brighton 4-1. Beat Galatasaray 4-1. That basically meant we got through to the last 16 of the Champions League. Smashed Middlesbrough 5-2 in the FA Cup. And then we won 2-1 at Barcelona in our final game. I mean, if that doesn't show we've won 2-1 at the Nou Camp, this team was literally world class. I knew I was building a great team. I didn't realise it was this good. And then a 4-0 win against Southampton. Man, at the end of January, we were running away with it. 7 points in the league. Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea starting to falter a bit. Of course, it can all change. I know that. But Man City are not the dominant, amazing force 10 years on that they are in a lot of FMs at the start. Haaland isn't just carrying him to everything. This is our chance. And the team is just amazing. Look at it. I've got strikers playing on the wing, I know, but it's so good. You know, if I'm not playing, you know, President's not growing as much, I might stand him a couple of years, not too sure. But like, I've got these lads, I've got President there, I've got the centre backs, I've got England's #1, I've got England's centre back. The only problem I'm having is he wants to leave, but I just played him loads. February was a little bit harder. We're on 3-0 against Bournemouth. We got battered at Tottenham, which is a shame. But these games happen, no panic. Drew against Villa. At least we come from 2-0 down. And when Sung scored that, I was delighted. That point is still crucial. You're going to have these moments. Defeat at Leicester, we started to lose our lead in the title. I had a team meeting. Nothing too serious. Let's go back to it. We won 7-3 in the FA Cup, 5th round. And then this was a big one. Champions League last 16, Tottenham away, a 5-3 win, followed by an 8-2 win in the Premier League. Then we bottled it in the second leg, so we've gone out of the Champions League. Now, I was furious at this point, I can't lie. I was really annoyed, but no Champions League games. Does that free me up for a title run? I'm still in the FA Cup. Well, we then won 3-2 at Anfield, which I wasn't expecting. 94th minute by Maximilian Kovacs, the number 10 from Germany I've had for years. Meant we got to, so we're in the semi-final of the FA Cup, just about top of the league. Well, we're 6 points in the lead. Luckily, despite me having a bit of a wobble, no one's catching me up. Man City having a terrible season, and Chelsea are my closer challengers. So with 9 games to go, I could be about to do the impossible. We then smashed Leeds 4-0. Really bad defeat at West Ham. Really annoyed with that. But we come back 3-0 win at home to Arsenal. Drew at Liverpool. Smashed Man City 3-0 in the FA Cup semi-final. That was Philip Sung with the English youngsters I've got. Gets a hat-trick. So we're in the FA Cup final. We then played Man City in the league and we drew 1-1 despite having 10 men. And that was about that. We are 7 points. Everyone's fallen off 67 points. We've had a great season, but no one has challenged us. This is a year we are almost there. We're almost there to win the Premier League. Absolutely crazy. And win the Premier League we did. We battered Everton 4-0. We battered Man United 3-0 to win the Premier League. 7 points. Yes, the other teams didn't have the best seasons. But, I mean, my new striker I just signed, he's now world class as well. I know everyone's in form, so they look better. But look at this amazing team. I mean, it doesn't matter what I do. If I put Danaman on the wing and I put Dominguez up front, or I put, you know, Jovanovic on the left wing. Wharton's still there, still being amazing, 29 years old now. Or I play Kovacs there, I'll play him in the number 10. This obviously playing it in a 4-3-3 for when I play the bigger teams. It's just ridiculous. Like my backup right back, you know, it's just there. Serge hasn't played enough games, so I might have to offload a few players next season because it's been hard balancing. My left back, who's been great for me, is obviously unhappy because he hasn't played loads. And the finances, look at Premier League games, we won 4-0 at Burnley and a 0-0 draw against Chelsea before we went to the FA Cup final. Now, nothing happened in the first half, but then in the second half, Newcastle scored, make it 1-0, which is just you think, oh, here we go again, we're going to lose the final again. But in the 56th minute, Danaman got on the ball, Kovacs got it, a lovely ball cross. They can deal with it, weird goal, scrappy goal, 1-0, Danaman, the man, has made it 1-1 and to instantly equalise, and then it got even better. It's just, I do not know what's happened there, but we scored, Danaman scored 2 scrappy goals. I put on complete forward and he's just chaos there. And then in the 95th minute, with Newcastle pushed up, 3-1. Philip Sung, we're singing, we've won the FA Cup, we've won the FA Cup, we've won the Premier League, we got to the Champions League. All we need to do now is win the Champions League, the League Cup, and the greatest competition of all time, the Community Shield. So, can I do that in season 11, which will be one of my last seasons? The club's financially dying because they don't want to invest and I haven't got any new owners yet. Kind of need new owners to put their own money in. But let's just have one more go at it, eh?